fans, this time around next week, we will be gearing up for a football game. That being Alabama-Miami from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. We are 8 days, Julio Jones, days away. You could also put in Josh Jacobs, John Mechie, but 8 days away from Bama-Miami. You are rocking and rolling with the best and brightest right now on a Friday TGIF edition of the show. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have everybody checking us out here on today. We're coming to you live from the magic city of Birmingham, streaming you the show on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, drop a like on the show, give us that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on all of those notifications, hit that bell, so that way you can have all of your alerts on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. We also got you covered on Facebook and Twitter as well, all forms of social media streaming to you the show. We got a lot to get into, a lot to uncover, unpack, and talk about on the show. Gotta shout out my man John Ivory one time in the production studio doing his thing, but we want to hear from you, the Bama Nation, on this evening. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. That's the number right there to dial to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Want to hear from you. Also, that daily Super Chat goes, $75 daily Super Chat go. Appreciate the love, the joy, the support coming from all of you, the Bama faithful. But without further ado, going to jump into now. First topic of conversation on the evening, and this goes to the Alabama offensive wild cards that could be on display against the Hurricanes. Now, you've got a lot of people talking about what Miami brings and De'Aaron King and what their offense has in store under Manny Diaz. And you have a lot of people that look at Alabama as, you know, no more Mac Jones, no more Najee Harris, no more Devontae Smith, no more Jalen Waddle, no more Landon Dickerson, Deontay Brown, Alex Leatherwood on the offensive line. So what possibly could Alabama have on that side of the football, even though the people know Bama reloads like hotcakes every single season? But we got some of these offensive wild cards that could, turn up and be critical factors here for the Crimson Tide week one of the season. And we started off with Trey Sanders. Trey Sanders is going to be a big deal here in this ball game, and just his recovery, his rehab has been nothing short of miraculous, if you will. When he sustained the injuries in the car accident in the middle portion of last season, the injuries he had were severe, even to the point where he had a hip issue there. Now, it wasn't on the same level as Tua Tagovailoa's hip issue, but still kind of a serious matter, and people didn't think that he would recover as fast as he did, but Sanders, somebody of whom has bounced back tremendously. He's had an incredible fall camp. Of course, Saturday will be the last day of fall camp, but he's had an incredible camp. He's had two really strong scrimmages. All of the things that make him a five-star running back have returned. When you look at his speed, his burst, his acceleration, his explosiveness, the big playabilities, all of those things back. Alabama is going to throw the ball out the backfield to the running backs quite a bit in this upcoming campaign, and Sanders also gives this Crimson Tide team some shades of Najee Harris when you discuss his ability to catch the ball out the backfield, have those soft, reliable, dependable hands, get up and down the field, that type of deal right there. And when you think about Sanders is a Florida native, right? Coming from IMG Academy, Port St. Joe, Florida. He was highly recruited by Miami, and he did not have a chance to play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2019 against Duke in that season opener due to a foot injury. So now he has another chance to go into MBS and have a breakout game and have a marquee performance and have a star-studded outing against Miami. So keep your eyes there on Trey Sanders. I think it's going to be a good 1-2 punch with B-Rob and the former five-star, also having one Emil Ekiyor Jr., redshirt junior, on the offensive line. Speaking to reporters on Thursday, he talked about it. It's just so good seeing Sanders back out there, seeing him break tackles, seeing him break for those long runs, those huge gains, those touchdown plays, because everybody knows how badly he wants it. Everybody knows how much he desires to be back on the field. Everybody was hurting for him when he was injured, but seeing him back, Ekiyor spoke on he being Sanders is going to contribute in a major way in this season right here. But that's Trey Sanders. As we move on here to our next guy that's going to be a wild card factor, going to the wide receiver room, we pick up freshman JoJo Earle. And the reason why Earle is a wild card, he wins the starting job at kickoff returner or punt returner. Alabama is going to drop the depth chart on Monday, as next week will be game week for the Crimson Tide, so keep your eyes on that. But if Earle wins the starting kickoff return or punt return job, Miami is going to have to kick to him. And this is going to be really exciting because I've said this quite the amount of times. Earle, to me, is Jalen Waddle 2.0 in terms of his acceleration, his burst, his quick twitch ability, his speed, agility, change of direction, vision. He can do a lot of those similar things in the kickoff return, punt return aspect that Waddle was able to do. So if Earle comes up number one on the depth chart in the punt return aspect or the kick return aspect, this is going to be fun here when you talk about Alabama creating points, Alabama creating those opportunities there on special teams. So watch Earle, number 10, as a potential, wild card factor. As we move on here to our next guy, we're going to pick up J.C. Latham on the offensive line. Now, as a freshman, this young man has been getting reps here, first-team reps at the right tackle position. Kendall Randolph coming off a minorly sprained ankle, hasn't been able to practice as much, so J.C. Latham has gotten a lot of the opportunities. The young man at 6'6", 325 pounds, coming also via the way of IMG Academy. And in the practice videos that we've been able to see, he's been kind of running with that first group. So keep your eyes there on Latham. Big chance he potentially could start there at that right tackle position. And we have seen freshmen start at offensive tackle in the past for Alabama. When you discuss guys like Andre Smith, Jonah Williams, you look at guys like Alex Leatherwood, those just different guys that we've seen, get those starting opportunities. Cam Robinson also. I think Cyrus Quanjo fits that bill as well. So we've seen in years past quite the number of talents there as true freshmen, big guys getting that opportunity to start on the offensive line as true freshmen. So keep your eyes there on Latham. Moving on here to the next wild card here for the Crimson Tide. That would be Slade Bolden. And the reason why we're putting Slade right here is I think Miami is going to be so focused on stopping John Mechie, stopping Jamison Williams, stopping kind of other guys that Slade's going to be able to create within the holes of the zone, make big catches, make some plays, convert first downs. He has gotten faster in terms of his speed, so maybe can break one of the house for a touchdown or two. And going back to last season, Slade Bolden made plays when Alabama needed him to, whether it was against Tennessee when Jalen Waddle went down, whether it was against Arkansas or Florida in the SEC championship game, or Notre Dame, Ohio State in the college football playoff. When you needed 18, when you needed Bolden to step up, the young man stepped up. So with eyes focused on other guys in that Hurricane secondary, keep your eyes there on Slade Bolden. Could break free, could wiggle his way through, get some big plays there in the zone or in the holes there of a defense. And last but not least here, wild card for Alabama offensively. Give me Cameron Latou at tight end. This is a young man that was buzzing throughout the spring at 6'5", 250 pounds. Caught the touchdown pass from Bryce Young, the 59-yard score in the spring game. Buzzed all summer, buzzed all fall camp, making catch after catch, scoring touchdown after touchdown, becoming Bryce Young's favorite target in the red zone, in the red area. And just not knowing when Bill O'Brien could call a play for the two at any given moment, I think that's going to throw Miami off guard because, once again, your focus is on Mechie, Jamison Williams, Jaleel Billingsley, so many other guys that a play could be called, a situation could be dialed up for Cameron Latu. He gets open in the holes of the zone. He beats a guy one-on-one down the field. You get the ball on that 6'5" big body that's got speed. He could be off to the races as well. So those are just some wild cards here for Alabama offensively to keep your eye on. Trey Sanders, JoJo Earl, also J.C. Latham, Slade Bolden, and also Cameron Latu. So it's going to be a fun matchup here between Bama and Miami coming up here in 8 days. Julio Jones away here from the season opener. But we take our first break from the show. Don't touch that dial. Just getting started. Upon our return, we jump to the phone lines to take your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your chats, your conversations, a dialogue with you. The Bama Nation is coming after this.
You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith, brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace today by visiting weownthefourthquarter.com. Throw them foes up.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
Back in here, folks. Back in here from the break. The number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday, TGIF edition of the show. Happy to have everybody checking us out today. Julio Jones, 8 days away from Bama-Miami. Can you feel it this time around next week? We will be preparing for a football game. Guys, shout out my man Spencer Reveley with that $5 donation, helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love there coming from Spencer. As always, that daily super chat goes $75. Appreciate you guys helping us out there. And also my man Senator Hines became a member of the JV squad for the TDA YouTube channel. So appreciate Senator getting his football on the JV squad for the TDA YouTube team here. Appreciate that coming from Senator. But as always, we're back in here from the break. Phone lines are open. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. 205-448-1358. Number to call in right there. 205-448-1358. As you're getting your thoughts in right now, we're going to transition here to this topic. And it involves Alabama's athletic director, Greg Byrne, who spoke this week on he is still anticipating full capacity crowds inside Bryant-Denny Stadium, regardless of the new strand here going on with the COVID virus here. But Greg Byrne is still saying that he's expecting full capacity crowds inside Bryant-Denny. He's also expecting tailgating to still be going on outside the stadium as well throughout the home games this season. So Byrne very optimistic, Byrne excited, Byrne happy about the opportunity to, get the crowd, get the fans, get the people back inside the venue. He's happy to have tailgating going on potentially outside of Bryant-Denny Stadium and just finding ways to get us all the way back normal. Though it's going to be a challenge, it's going to be a push, it's going to be an interesting ordeal, if you will. But as we can get to closer and closer to normal feeling when you look at college football, that's, what U.S. fans are trying to look for and hoping for, and I myself trying to look for and hope for, is to get back as close to normal as possible. But that's just the news they're coming from Greg Byrne, wanting to have or expecting, anticipating having full capacity crowds here inside Bryant-Denny. We got to shout out my man Senator Hines, that $5 donation, the Super Chats helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love coming from my man Senator, helping us out here, TDA on a Friday. Here we go, folks. What are your score predictions, people? Score predictions for Alabama-Miami. Send us those score predictions in the chat line. Call in with those score predictions. What are you feeling? First game of the season between Alabama and Miami. I'm still going with the score prediction of Bama 42, Miami 13. And the reason why I'm feeling that one, 42-13, I feel like offensively, Bill O'Brien's going to be creative. I feel like offensively, the team is all in on Bryce Young, from the head coach, Nick Saban, to the offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, to the teammates around him. For the first time in quite some time in the Saban era, you got everybody is locked in. There's not a hint of doubt in terms of Young when you discuss the team as a whole. And I feel like he's going to go out there and play his game, play his style of football, play his rhythm. I do want to see within the first 5 minutes of the game where it's hyped up, it's turned up, it's pumped up, full capacity crowd inside Mercedes-Benz, people yelling and screaming, how quickly can Bryce be able to settle into the matchup, play his game, not succumb to the pressure, not do too much, but make the right plays with the football. Be athletic, attack on the edge, get the playmakers the ball, make the right calls, checks there on the field, and just be himself out there. That's something that I will look forward to watching. But I'm also choosing 42-13 because I think this Alabama defense is going to come out and make a statement. I mean, this whole offseason, people have been talking about, De'Aaron King. He's a dual threat. He's mobile. He's fast. He's got great legs. He can run. And what's the one thing you can do to frustrate an Alabama defense and get it off its game plan is having a dual threat mobile quarterback. In the last 3 years, this defense has had to deal with, you're not good, you're no longer elite, you're no longer dominant, you're no longer marquee, you've taken a back seat. Is Alabama going to have anything that resembles a solid, strong, good defense this season? I think this group is 100% tired of hearing that. They're ready to get after it with their hair on fire, getting on De'Aaron King and this Miami Hurricane offense. So to me, I got 42-13 for that reason. But let's see some score predictions from you guys here, as our own John Ivory's got them on spring. We got Naomi. Naomi's got 38-13 Bama. Feeling that one, Naomi. 38-13 Bama. Richard G has got 38-17 Bama. Feeling that one by Richard G. Roll Tide Rise Up's got 42-17 Bama. Roll Tide Rise Up, you and I are kind of on that same wavelength, but you got 42-17 Bama. George Timmerman, he's got 42-13 Bama. Me and George Timmerman think alike. We both got 42-13. Senator Hines has 48-13 Bama. Appreciate everybody for those score predictions. Continue to send those in throughout the show. We grab a call right now. You're live here on the show on a Friday. What's up? How you doing? How you feeling? State your name and where you're calling from. State your name and where you're calling from, caller. We lost that call there. We take this call right here. You're live on the show. Happy Friday to you. What's going on? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, how's it going? This is Steven.
How we going, Hugh?
No, Steven.
I'm here.
Port St. Louis.
Okay, Steven. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Doing all right, man. Ready for next week, baby. I'm a Miami graduate.
So how you feel about this game? I mean, what you like about this game?
I feel great, and I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all have not seen anything like the Eric King and our freaking defense, man.
Gonna be a good one then. Gonna be a good one, my man Steven from St. Louis. Appreciate the call. Gonna be a good one. De'Aaron King's athletic.
St. Louis.
We got my man Steven from St. Louis calling in, talking about De'Aaron King, Miami, and this matchup. We go to our next call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? I couldn't hear out my AirPod the first time, man. My bad, bro. It's Coach Smoot, Mr. Senator Hines. You know who it is, bro.
How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I miss you guys, man. I've been out here grinding, man, trying to make some moves and, get ready for this season, man. Just clear out my schedule for this season because I'm not missing nothing this year, man. I feel like this is going to be a special year. I'm one of the three-peat believers. You get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And I'm really feeling my squad. Like Bama, the young defense, the experienced defense with all the talent that we have across the field, the depth is just crazy, man. I don't think people realize how much talent, hidden talent we have just sitting around, waiting to get on the field. And that's going to be our advantage. The hunger to compete every day in practice is going to transfer to that game field. And everybody doesn't have the luxury to have that, you get what I'm saying, at practice every day. So that's really what's going to keep Bama, above the rest. But that's all I had to say, Steve. I wasn't going to be on long today, man. I just wanted to chime in and tell my fam I miss y'all. Blue Ridge Gang, we out here. I love y'all, man.
Appreciate the call from Senator here on the show. Bama-Miami, 8 days away. So excited for this right now. We take our next call here on the show. You're live on a Friday, in my own words, with Stephen M. Smith. State your name and where you calling from.
George Temerin from Batavia, Illinois. How you doing, Stephen?
We got George, my man George from Illinois. How you feeling, man?
Really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm
fantastic, I'll tell you what's up.
Man. I'm fantastic. We got 8 days until Bama-Miami. We're Julio Jones away. We're finally going to get a chance to watch some live game action really soon here. I'm pumped up.
I am too. I think this season we're going to see more than a few turnover touchdowns from the defense. I think they're stacked. I think they want to prove just how good they are. And I just think they will be putting some points on the board from the defense. I think there's a possibility this could happen a week against Miami.
I see it also, George. It could come from Malachi Moore. It could come from Jordan Battle. It could come from one of the linebackers. And that's what's outstanding about this defense, how hungry this group is. I go back to SEC Media Days. Phidarian Mathis, 5 of the first 6 questions directed to him were, big man, where's the defense? Big man, is the defense for real? Big man, will the defense hit that standard? And if you want to motivate a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old kids, you tell them you dropped the ball, you're not as good as you used to be. That's going to get those guys foaming at the mouth, George, foaming at the mouth.
Right. Well, I just want to say thanks, and your show rocks, and so do you, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate George, my man George from Illinois, calling in, helping us out here on the show. This is going to be a good week. This is going to be a good week, a good game between Alabama and Miami coming up here next week. I am pumped up about this. We got some super chats coming in here right now. How about Jimmy the Bad Man Clay, baddest donator in the game, Clay, hops in here with that $25 donation. Appreciate the love from Jimmy Clay. And is this Naomi? Naomi hopped in here with the $19.99 donation. Appreciate the love from Naomi. Jimmy Clay, Naomi helping us out here on the show. Hold on. We got William Bryan who done threw a 50-piece in this thing. Man, you guys showing us the love, donating, chiming in, texting in, providing us with your score predictions. Daily Super Chat goal, $75 has been met. Appreciate you, the fans. Continue sending in your score predictions for Bama-Miami. Want to get all of those. We grab another call right now. You're live on the show on a Friday. In my own words, how you feeling? State your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, how you doing? This is Kyle Greenwood with WETUMPKA.
We got Kyle from where now, Kyle?
Kyle Greenwood from WETUMPKA, Alabama.
We got Kyle from WETUMPKA. Kyle, what's going on?
Going all right. Appreciate the show. Been needing something to listen to on these roads here. I go out on the road sometimes with my truck. Got a dually. Just got my dually about 3 weeks ago. But appreciate you taking my call. I have a question about our defense. I've hearing a lot of people. I listen to a lot of other shows. I listen to some other shows that come out. Like I said, just coming on your show. But how is the defense going to be this year? Is it going to be as good as everybody is saying it is?
I think it is, Kyle. I think it is. And I've recently said this, the best way to motivate a group of 18 to 22-year-olds is when you tell them you are not as good as you used to be. You've dropped the ball. You have not held the standard. You have not been elite. You've taken the back seat. That gets those young men foaming at the mouth and saying, okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove to you. I'm going to let you see what we are for real. And the entire offseason, the question has been, will Alabama have that defense that fans have become used to prior to the 2018 season and since then? And this group has been firing on all cylinders since spring. They've been great in the summer. They've been great throughout fall camp. Saban is very confident. He's very jubilant. He is really cool about this defense and even talking about some of the young guys that can get out there and get some playing time. So I think this defense, Kyle, is going to be the real deal. Get ready.
That's what I'm hoping for because, like I said, I don't really get a chance to watch all the games. I kind of have to watch them or listen to them on the radio here. And I don't really read a lot of stuff. I just kind of long-time Alabama fan. But really just wanted to know your thoughts. And like I said, I've been listening to everybody else, and I think everybody's pretty much consistent. Do you think that they'll be able to stop Miami? Miami, I mean, they're a pretty good team.
Miami's a good team. Miami is. It comes down to shutting down De'Aaron King. And I know he's coming off a serious knee injury from the bowl game Miami had. But if Alabama can keep De'Aaron King under control, this is going to be a very good game for the Crimson Tide. That's the key. You corral De'Aaron King, you have the game. But appreciate Kyle there from WETUMPKA calling in, sharing us those nuggets right there here on the show. But people, we're going to go to a break right now. Once again, continue getting us those score predictions for Alabama-Miami, getting all of those, taking those throughout the show after this.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your 4-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your 4-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we are back into the action here, folks, from the break of number one form for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine on a Friday TGIF edition of the show as we are 8 days away from Bama-Miami. This time around next week, people, we're going to see football. We're going to see Alabama football. We've been talking about it, speculating about it. Now, coming up next week, we're going to actually get a chance to see some pads pop, some action, some fans, some yelling, some screaming, some excitement taking place now on the field. But folks. We're back in here from the break as we're waiting on Keith Miller here, Coach Keith Miller from the Showcase Ball Camp out of California to call in. We're going to go to actually an interesting call topic right now, and that goes to one Mac Jones. And Mac Jones has a chance, if he's able to go out there and succeed, if he's able to go out there and have a huge NFL preseason game against the New York Football Giants, he's going to have an opportunity to get on the field, and he has an opportunity to start in Week 1 over Cam Newton for the Patriots. Mac Jones has had a phenomenal preseason. He's been outstanding in the 2 preseason games, especially this recent one here. Especially the recent one that they had there out there on the field, him being out there having those long touchdown drives, spreading the ball all over the field, 2 to 3 touchdown drives that being, and then throughout the joint practices, he's looked strong there as well. I believe in that first one against the Giants, he went 35 of 40 passing there, just surgical accuracy, surgical in the precision and the timing, getting the ball to the playmakers out there in space, letting those guys do their thing. And I know Cam Newton has the experience. I know Cam Newton's been with the Patriots, this past season, so he's back for another 1-year deal. But when you draft a quarterback in the first round, and primarily early in the first round, they took Jones, number 15 overall, you have thoughts, you have ideas of that guy is going to be the succession plan. That guy is going to be the future. That guy is going to be the leader for your franchise, for your team for years to come. And it's interesting that in the pre-draft process, everybody was talking Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence has been named the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but he's been struggling a little bit here in the preseason. People were talking, you can't sit Trey Lance. You got to go with Trey Lance. He's got the high ceiling. He's the big name. He's got so much potential. He's got so much upside, but Trey Lance has just not knocked your socks off in the preseason. You got Zach Wilson for the Jets. He's kind of been up and down, some good and bad moments, and then Justin Fields, kind of the same deal. Mac Jones has kind of coasted through the preseason with very strong moments, very exceptional moments, very good moments out there at the quarterback position. And it's not just now with Belichick and Josh McDaniels, but you got players around him, whether it's Kendrick Bourne, whether it's Trent Brown, whether it's former Alabama linebacker Donta Hightower, who's the leader of the Patriots defense. All of these guys speaking relatively high of the young man, the 2020 national champion, Heisman finalist, and consensus All-American in Mac Jones. And then, also you look at the idea that in Belichick's mind, I feel like 21 years ago, he left the NFL draft thinking we got the right quarterback when he took Tom Brady. And now 21 years later, I'm pretty sure he feels like we took the right quarterback in Mac Jones. So this game against the Giants coming up here on Sunday, 3rd preseason game, will tell a lot of the tape here. If Jones goes out there, dominates, has extreme success, then we're going to look at him. We're going to look at him in terms of the starting job, Week 1 for the Patriots, but we'll definitely see what happens. Got to have that kudos, though, for Mac 10. He's had outstanding training camp, outstanding preseason. We're going to go to a break right now, folks, on the show. But when we come back, we're going to actually dive into a little conversation about Jalen Milroe and why he will have a critical role in the preparation for the Tide against Miami. We'll talk Milroe after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full-year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
back in, people. Rocking and rolling from the break on a Friday. TGIF edition of the show. Hottest show on the streets, number one forum for Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. We now get into a conversation on one Jalen Milroe, the true freshman quarterback for the Crimson Tide, young man, 4-star out of Tompkins High School in Katy, Texas. This is going to be a big week for Milroe, and the reason why, he's going to have a very critical role in preparing Alabama for Miami. If you look at next week, which will be game week for the Crimson Tide, which will be setting things up for Miami for the Hurricanes in practice, scout team's going to be going on the field. Milroe is going to have that opportunity to emulate D'Eriq King in practice for the first team defense. He's got the closest skill set of him, Paul Tyson, Bryce Young, 2-1 D'Eriq King. Now, I understand Milroe is taller than King. King is 5'11". Milroe is 6'2". Milroe a bit thicker than King. Milroe over 200 pounds. D'Eriq King 195. But both guys from Texas, and then once again, both guys have similar traits. You talk about, Milroe dual threat, Milroe athletic, Milroe mobility. He's got great legs, great footwork, a cannon for an arm, can make those types of plays. And this is what you want. You want him to give the likes of Will Anderson, Chris Allen, Henry To'o, Christian Harris, all of those guys, Phil Mathis, the entire defensive front. You want Milroe giving these guys the best look at what they can expect here, from King. Because going back to what Coach Saban said this week, he talked about the Miami redshirt senior quarterback, very athletic, very good runner, great with his feet, highly mobile, can make plays, can create, can work off script, can do all of those things as a dual threat guy on the field. And Alabama's able to go out there and just take King out of his element early and often and throughout the game. Then that would speak huge volumes to Jalen Milroe and showing that he was able to provide this defense with the best look, with the most ideal look, with the most successful look in getting this team prepared to what they're going to face out there on the field with King. So, once again, King is coming off of an ACL injury himself, so you really don't know how good he's going to be able to move, he's going to be able to bend, he's going to be able to turn and contort and adjust his body and create on the edge. He says he's good. The Miami coaching staff says he's good. The fans believe he's good. The team doctors say he's good. But you don't know how good you are until you take that first hit. You don't know how good you are until you embrace that first piece of contact. You don't know how good you are until you get your bell rung on the field by the opposing team's defense. So we will see how that plays out. But for Jalen Milroe, him having this opportunity to put Will Anderson, Chris Allen, Christian Harris, all of these guys on the defense in a set position to do their thing against D'Eriq King. It's going to be huge for Milroe this week. And he this is the same formula. These are the same footsteps that Jalen Hurts took in 2016 when he first got on campus. Remember, at that point in time, he was emulating Deshaun Watson in the first matchup between Alabama and Clemson for a national championship. It was Hurts getting the likes of Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne and Dalvin Tomlinson and Tim Williams and Ryan Anderson and, of course, Reuben Foster, Reggie Ragland. He was getting all of those guys prepared for what they were going to face in Deshaun Watson during that game, and Hurts did a darn good job because we saw how Alabama was able to get that win over Clemson by the score of 45-40 in Arizona. So here's a matchup here. Here's an opportunity here for Milroe going out there providing the best look of D'Eriq King in practice next week. Whether it's him, rolling out in practice, whether it's him on design runs in practice, whether it's him showcasing the arm in practice, he's got the opportunity to give this Alabama defense its best look to go out there on next Saturday and shut down King on the field here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. So critical role for Milroe. I think he'll be able to go out there and get that done, helping out the Crimson Tide. But we take a break right now. Folks, don't touch that dial. When we return, we go back into the phone lines to take your calls, your thoughts, your tweets, your texts, your chats, your conversations, your score predictions for Bama-Miami. We get into them after this.
Don't touch that dial. Call in right now as we're taking your calls up next on In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith. Brought to you by We Own the Fourth Quarter. Visit WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com now to get your four-finger bling necklace.
This is Chris Rogers, 2009 national champion. You are listening to the baddest, when I say the baddest, sports show in the state of Alabama. In my own words, you know, yours truly, Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Don't touch that dial.
You know what we do at the start of the fourth quarter. We throw them foes up. But now you don't have to wait until the fourth quarter. Get your four-finger bling necklace at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. It's the first and only logo that captures the essence of all Crimson Tide players and fans as we represent the legendary Alabama football fourth quarter dominance. Get your four-finger bling necklace right now at WeOwnTheFourthQuarter.com. Get yours today and stun on them haters. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
And we're rocking and rolling, folks. We're back into the action here. From the break of the number one forum for Bama football news, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have everybody checking us out here today on the show. Phone lines open. Call segment brought to you by the Blue Ridge Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in right there, 205-448-1358. We grab a call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steven? It's Lewis. I'm calling from Medellin, Colombia, but Colombia in South America. How's it going, buddy?
Going great, man. Going outstanding. I mean, how you feeling right now? How you feeling, Lewis?
I'm feeling all right. Just having a beer, watching your shows always, taking it easy. It's been a long day of work, but nothing better to just pop a cold beer and watch your show, man. Having a good time.
Nothing like it, man. Nothing like it. So, I mean, what has you excited for college football? But most importantly, what's got you excited for the Alabama-Miami game?
Well, a couple of things. I'm very, very excited with this guy, Jalen Milroe. I don't know if you were to remove the sentimental part with Paul Tyson. We all know related to Bear Bryant, but it's going to be very difficult to somehow prevent this guy to take over. For what I'm seeing every now and then on TV and practices and all this, he seems to be very accurate, very athletic. He's got a great arm. He's got speed. He's got great size, and so I'm very confident about that. It's okay, all good with Bryce Young, of course, and I'm rooting for that kid, of course. But I don't know, sometime later down the road, I think Jalen Milroe is going to be the quarterback. And one quick question, and I have a follow-up question. If you were to grade on a scale from 1 to 10, the current situation with Jaleel Billingsley being 10 is all good, how would you rate that situation with him and Saban and, all the noise around him?
With Jaleel Billingsley there, Lewis, it seems like everything has been. It seems like everything's good. I mean, it appears that everything's good. He's been back at practice the last 2 to 3 days with the tight ends, working on blocking drills, catching passes. Appears that he's back, first in line in those drills with tight ends. So it looks like, just from the outside looking in, that things are okay.
Okay. Because I was really sad and worried that there was something wrong there, because he is an absolute stud, and we're going to need that player to step in. He's an outstanding tight end. And so, in my prediction, did not name score, but I guess might be wrong, but I have Alabama by a couple of touchdowns favorite, I guess. Alabama's going to win that game. I have doubts that the quarterback in Miami is going to be 100% healthy. He'll take a couple of shots here and there, and they're going to change the way they're going to play. So, of course, Alabama's going to get that game. So I appreciate your time, Stephen. I watch your show, even though I'm thousands of miles away, but I don't miss your show, especially on Friday. Appreciate what you're doing. An outstanding show. And just keep up the good work, Stephen. Doing a heck of a job, man.
Appreciate Lewis. They're calling in, helping us out here on a Friday on the show. We take our next call right here. You're live on the show on a Friday. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Stephen. This is Vince from the big city of Memphis, Tennessee. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm ready for the season, man. Ready for it to get started. I just want to say a few things about the Miami game. I think that Alabama could probably run the football and win this game, because you think about last year what North Carolina did to Miami last year, and we actually got the running back coach that was there at North Carolina last year. And we got probably better running backs what North Carolina did. So I don't think Bryce got to have that much pressure to go out there and try to, he might think that he might have to go out there and try to do what the Derek King did. But you look at it, we might be even with them at the quarterback position. But the way we recruited, we are better than Miami in every other position on the field, especially on the line of scrimmage. I think that's how we should dominate the line of scrimmage, because I just don't see how they'd be to match up with us on the line of scrimmage. And what you think about that?
My man, I'm loving how you're thinking right now, because Coach Saban has always talked about wanting to get back to more ball control, wanting to have more balance. And in the first game, you don't want to put all the pressure on Bryce Young, especially when you got 4 to 5 running backs. You can keep those guys fresh. You hand them the ball. You can let them ground and pound right there. You lean on that offensive line. You get that Miami defense tired, and then you can take some shots there with Bryce Young. So I like that idea. I do. Appreciate that call right there. Coming into the show, discussing Alabama, running the football. That could definitely be an option right there. But we take this call right here. You're live on the show. How you feeling? What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
Coach Smoot from Phoenix City, Alabama.
We got Senator back in here. What's going on, my man?
Steven, I love the content tonight, man, with the fans' viewpoints of this Miami game. I just want to just continue to piggyback off of it, man, because the last caller said something very important about, De'Aaron King getting settled in. De'Aaron King hasn't taken a hit since his injury. So knowing that this defensive line, he's reading the headlines. De'Aaron King is reading the media. You seen his response to, if he believes they have a chance against Bama. He's reading all the tabloids and stuff. So he knows what he's up against. And I've had both ACLs done before, Steven, and you don't get past that mental block for a good, almost a year until after you get cleared, to get back to playing how you want to. You might play hard, you might have spots, but the mental block is there. And we saw it affect Dylan Moses, and he ended up re-injuring himself, and nobody even knew it. So the mental part is definitely going to be there. It's a big game. It's going to be televised. We can expect to see De'Aaron King make some uncharacteristic plays early. And our offensive line, compared to their D-line, they're not deep at D-line. They got a lot of young guys, but they don't have a lot of experience. And one thing we know for sure, Alabama offensive line, your best chance to get ahead is the first two to three drives. Your best chance to get ahead and try to get in our head, your first 2 or 3 drives. If we control the drive from the first drive of the game, it's going to be a long night. And so, and like the last caller said, I see the ground ball being the way to go, 60, 70% of the game. I see Bryce Young probably getting 20 to 23 pass attempts the first game of the season. But, yeah, big score. Like I said in chat, 48-13. I'm looking probably like 48, 45, 13. And I mean, just a full game of control and dominance in the trenches is going to be nasty, Steven.
Appreciate Senador right there calling into the show, helping us out once again. We're talking Alabama-Miami. What are you seeing from this game? What are you liking about this game? How are you feeling about this game? We take our next call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
William Bryant from Denison again, Iowa.
My man William Bryant in the building from Iowa. My man, what's going on?
Oh, man, everything's great. I just wanted to brag on Emily's heirloom pound cakes. The guy that called in from Columbia, South America. I do want to tell him that they do ship overseas. She's made a shipment just recently to the troops overseas. So if he wanted to order some, I advise him to get some because they're real good. And also about the game. As far as Miami, we beat them in the Sugar Bowl back in 92, the 93 game, so we can do it again. And that's all I have.
Absolutely, William. In the game in 93, Miami talked a lot of junk coming into that matchup, but Coach Gene Stallings, George Teague, Antonio Langham, Derek Nassick, Jay Barker, the rest of the whole crew made sure Miami and Gino Torretta very uncomfortable throughout the entire game as Bama got the 34-13 win in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. But William, my man William Bryant, appreciate that call right there coming from him, talking about Bama-Miami. This is going to be a good game right here coming up in next week. But we grabbed another call right here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How you feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Steven. It's Chris from Westchester County, New York. How are you?
Doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing good, thank you. Hey, this is the first time in 4 or 5 years where kind of really excited about the Alabama defense and especially the linebackers. I kind of look at their linebacker room, and there's about 6 to 8 players that are probably starters anywhere elsewhere in the country. So I wonder, what are your thoughts? And then also Will Anderson. I look at him, and he seems to be he's got potential to be the next Lawrence Taylor.
That's big praise right there. That is big praise right there. So the linebacker room, it's deep, it's nasty, it's scary. At inside linebacker, we're talking about Christian Harris, who's played a lot of ball, and he's going to be the weak side, the will, see ball, get ball linebacker. He's going to be next to Henry To'o, who's going to be the middle linebacker, calling the signals, getting the defense in order, and he's so used to doing it because he did it 2 years at Tennessee. Prior to coming to Alabama, you got your two outside guys in Christopher Allen and Will Anderson. And as much of a terror as Will Anderson is, and he is, people forget Chris Allen is a terror, especially when he's healthy. And last year, for the first time, was healthy. 6 sacks, 13 tackles for loss. Had big production there, and you got guys behind those guys that can go out there and make things happen. So very excited about this defense, and Will Anderson will be as good as Will Anderson wants to be, and Anderson wants to be legendary. So he's going to continue to work toward being legendary.
Expect that for him. And, I think Saban's record going into the first game of the year is just fantastic, and it's hard to imagine, except for some crazy bounces of the football and some unexpected turnovers, that there'll be a letdown in this game against Miami.
I look at this game, man, and I think for me, Saban's record in these marquee season openers, he's 10-0 since 2007. He is 6-0 against the ACC. I think in this game, what Saban always likes to do is where are we being Alabama in relation to the ultimate goal, which is winning a national championship? So coming up in practice next week, being game week, he's going to have the guys prepared, no stone left unturned. Everybody's going to be locked in. Everybody's mind is going to be right in this game. And I just see a team that's focused on trying to repeat as champions, and especially on defense, where the last few years, we've heard defense no good, defense taking a back seat. Will Alabama ever get back to having that type of defense prior to 2018? And it will this season, but definitely appreciate my man from New York with that call right there on the show. Appreciate everybody calling in, texting in, writing in, donating in, delivering those score predictions for Alabama-Miami. We are 8 days away. People, next week, we're going to be watching football. We're going to be getting Bama football next week here for the Crimson Tide. But I got to shout out Mechanic right now. Mechanic, that $25 donation, helping us out here on the show. Appreciate the love there from Mechanic. As always, Tide fans, you want the best in news, notes, information, and material on your favorite program, that being Bama football. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama Magazine app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. If you got the Android phone for your audio listening needs, we got you covered. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, iHeartRadio. We got you covered. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll be back on Monday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link will be found in the description. Also, if you're trying to get the new edition, or the fresh edition, the print edition of TDA the magazine, you can go to toucdownalabama.com. You click join, become a member, a subscriber today. Also, if you're trying to get your hands on the four-finger bling necklace, four-finger bling jewelry, courtesy of our guys at weownthefourthquarter.com. That's weownthefourthquarter.com. That link in the description as well. But until next time, folks, husbands love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, weekend here. Weekend is here, but you still do the right thing, fun thing, good thing, smart thing, legitimate thing to not be bored. You get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great naps a day. You protect yourself, protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening to In My Own Words.